He honey wash day Midgard. My name is Michelle from Throw Once Another Letter, and today I'm going to be doing one of the most important videos I've ever done on this channel. So, my good friend Brody uploaded a video on their channel talking about how they wanted to do a Q&A on what it means to be Indigenous on Booktube, and if anybody had any questions they could ask and they would answer, and they got a lot of answers, or they got a lot of questions. So I'm going to also answer those questions, and hopefully we will get a little further in the world with this. I will link Brody's video down below. It was amazing. I loved it. It was great. I laughed in some places. I cried in some places. And I think that you should watch it because it gives a lot of insight on really what it means to be an Indigenous Native American person on Booktube. So, we're going to get into the questions. Or before we do, I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about me. If you didn't know, I am Lakota Sioux. I live here in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and I actually have had a very long journey, I guess you could say. When I was born, my birth parents really didn't think that they could maintain what I needed, and so they left me in the care of my grandparents for a little while. But then when they came back, I was really attached to them, and my father fully believed in my mom, aka his mom. He believed that his mom would be able to do everything and take care of everything, and I'd be fine. So I'm enrolled in this Sandy Rock Sioux tribe. If you didn't know about it, in 2016, they were more known for the protests against the Dakota Pipeline. If you want to know a little bit more about that, I would definitely do some research. So I was actually never raised on the reservation. I think I spent some time there with my other grandparents, Rita and Marvin, when I was like a baby, but I personally don't remember it. I just know from what my birth mother has told me. My grandparents took care of me, but I didn't call them my grandparents. I didn't call them grandma and grandpa, though they were mom and papa. Everybody's like, oh yeah, that's your grandma. No, she's not my grandma. She is my mom, and that's my papa. Unfortunately, my papa passed away in 2016, and that was really hard for us, but I did know some things about my own heritage. I have enough understanding of the Lakota language. If I needed to pronounce something, I could pronounce it, but I am not perfect, so I would definitely ask forgiveness for saying something wrong, because they are very, 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 very strict about how things are pronounced, because they want you, if you're going to pass it on, they want you to be able to speak it very clearly. That is a little bit about me. Fun fact, my last name used to be Two Hearts, and in Lakota it means Shante Nupa, and it all is about this guy, and he couldn't choose between two women, and so they called him Two Hearts. And I used to get so teased for that. People used to be like, so does that mean you have two hearts? No, that is not what it means, so don't even try, because you sound freaking dumb. The only other thing that I got when I told people my first and last name is that a lot of guys would just suddenly break out in song, and I was like, okay. But later I learned that the song Michelle is actually a Beatles song, which I also very like. So we're gonna get into the questions. Whew. Calm down. Courtney from Court the Bun asks, if you have read any books with Indigenous representation, how accurate to your own story is it? Unfortunately, I have not read any books that have a Lakota character. However, I did read Apple in the Middle by Dr. Dawn E. Quigley. I read this. I actually asked for an ARC, or a finished copy, and they sent me a e-copy. It's so good. It's only like 250 some pages, and you definitely need to read it. It is about a girl she's like 13 or 14 or something like that, and she finds out that she herself she's half and half. She's half white, she's half native, and she has no understanding of her people, her heritage, anything like that. And her dad, the thing about her is that when she was going to be born, her mom died in childbirth, and it was this big thing, and her dad never talked about what happened and anything like that. And so she goes to her grandparents' house for the summer, and at first she's like really kind of scared, and she doesn't understand, and she is nervous. But as time goes on and on, she learns more about her mom, about grief, about her heritage, who she is as a person, and it was just so cute and beautiful. And oh my god, some of these events are so true to life, so true to the things that I hear or learn about reservations, about Indian living, about communities, about family. Just so good. And the thing about Apple, the girl, that's her name, Apple, she is Hunkpapa, I believe, and her family is based in the Turtle Mountains, which is somewhere really up there in North Dakota. I will link Dr. Quigley's site down below, and also probably a link to the book on Amazon, because y'all need to read it. It is so good. It touched my heart. Ugh, just thinking about it makes me, oh, there's recipes in it too, so just thinking about it makes me want to read it all over again, or like buy it. Storm of Word asks, do you feel like there's a pressure on you as an Indigenous reader to prioritize and boost Indigenous literature or be an authority in Indigenous culture literature? If so, how can non-Indigenous people take that pressure off you? Well, first off, I'm not your token Native friend, okay? I'm not gonna be your token brown friend. If you want to do any reading on Native American culture or Native American stories, then you definitely need to do that research for yourself. There are some great books out there. You know, look at your local library. Just go to your local library's website and type in like Native American. I would suggest not reading anything by Sherman Alexie. There is a link, probably going to be a link down below, to some of his indiscretions. He was sexually harassing some of the women that he worked with, / like other authors, girls like that, and it's really sad because he did have some good books. However, because of that, I'm not even going to touch a single book ever again of his. It's gross. I do feel the pressure to read the literature. However, I can make those decisions on my own if that's something I want to do. Just like if I wanted to read about any other race or ethnicity. So do your research. I would definitely read it. There's a lot of nonfiction out there, but if you can find a good fiction, read it. Not Sherman Alexie, but just read it. Tate from Bookish Stars asks, what's a book, TV show, movie, etc. that you love that has good Indigenous representation? I'm going to link a lot of stuff down below, but there's actually a Twitter thread of different Native American actors and actresses that I found that there's some really, really good ones, like Tantu Cardinal, Graham Greene, Adam Beach. Adam Beach is actually like a really famous Native American actor. Like, he's been in a lot of stuff. If you didn't notice, he was actually in Suicide Squad for like 20 minutes. I'm still bitter about it. One of my favorite movies is Thunderheart, and this is starring Val Kilmer and Graham Greene, and it is about some of the things that happened in the 70s / 80s. It's kind of like a, you know, it talks about it, but it's not the same. It's different. So, like, this is talking about a supposed militant group that is killing off certain people in the Pine Ridge Reservation community, and it catches the eye of the FBI, and they send one of their own, I guess, out to the Pine Ridge Reservation. Funny enough, I was actually born over there. but I did not live there. But that's where some of my family is. What happens is Kilmer's character is sent from Washington, D.C. to South Dakota to help solve these murders, and he also has another partner that is helping him solve these crimes. And also there is a side character that is a police officer. He's not you couldn't say he's like a traditional police officer, but he's more of like a plainclothes police officer. I think he's a detective. I don't know. I have to watch the movie again because it's my favorite. I've seen it like a million times. I should be able to tell you all of this, but it's been about a year or so since I've watched it, so I might have to rent it today. It is about a half Native American man. He has some Native American blood in him, and he, from what it tells us, he does not know that much about himself, and if he does, it is repressed deeply because his father was actually an alcoholic, and so he did not get to learn very much about himself or his culture because his father was an alcoholic, and it was just not available to him, and his mother took him far away from that, and so he lost touch with who he was. So when he gets sent to Pine Ridge, he kind of learns more about his heritage, about where he comes from, where he began, and he gains a sense of family, and also he starts learning about what this group is, all of the things that are actually really happening there, and he learns about other stuff that's going on, and that maybe it's not this militant group's fault, maybe it's somebody else's fault. Whose fault is it? Is there corruption? Is there a conspiracy? And I love this movie so much. It stars Val Kilmer and Graham Greene, and Graham Greene does an outstanding job. Like, his hair, oh my god, I had such a crush on Graham Greene when I was younger. I was like, oh my god, he is just in that movie. Just in that movie, because now he looks like an old man potato. But I totally related to Kilmer's character in the fact that he didn't really know much about himself, and also the characters that are in these, oh my god. There is a woman, her name is Maggie, and she is so smart. She is actually a graduate from Dartmouth, and she lives in this little house with her 4 kids and her grandma, and unfortunately, sometimes bad things happen to Indigenous women, hence why there's like a whole movement about murdered Indigenous women. And actually, I have a family member who is one of those women, and she has some past trauma from something really bad that happened to her, and so that's why she's there, and she is fighting for her people. And she is so smart and brilliant, and her character, she is so good. So as for TV, if you want to check one out, Longmire's on Netflix. It features a Wyoming police department, and there's murders and conspiracy and casinos and just like some stuff that happens in that show. It's so good. It does feature some really good Native American actors. There's a police officer that is in that, and he's just, ooh, I don't know what it is about a dark-haired Native American man with the long hair that really does it for me. I know that sounds bad, but ooh. I mean, like, I love my husband, but, like, those little crushes here and there, I'm just like, ooh. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. And also, it's very hard to have crushes on certain Native American guys, because the thing about Native Americans is that we have traveled and been nomads, and sometimes the world is so small, and we find out that we're actually related. That really happened. It sucks. The guy who plays the sheriff, he's actually Australian, but he does a really good, like, Western voice. And it does show some of the sad things that happen on reservations in just regular life. And I think my least favorite character was actually Graham Greene in that one, because he is a crooked cop, and he is such a good actor that he just makes you hate him so badly. As for movies, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, you have to have a HBO subscription to that, or if you actually bought the movie, that's really sad. It's really, really freaking sad. The other one is like Last of the Mohicans, Grey Owl, or Greyhawk? Grey Owl, my bad. And there's other Native American movies out there that aren't filled with sadness and 1870s crap where we're like, being oppressed by the white people. Oh wait, that's still happening. My bad. Okay. There are some really good Native American media out there. You just have to find it. And also, Chambers and Frontier are on Netflix. Chambers has been canceled, but it features a Indigenous actor. She is great. And then, of course, Frontier. Obviously there's Jason Momoa, but also there's a couple of Native American actors. And also, if you want to, you can look for shorts. There are a lot of indie shorts out there that are really good. I haven't tried very many of them, but if it has 10-2 Cardinal in it, it's gonna be good. She just, like, every time I think of a Native American mom, or like a maternal figure, like a sassy maternal figure, but those are like the media, like the TV movie things. And also, if I were you, I would definitely check out some the band A Tribe Called Red, because they integrate some of the Native American songs and powwow music with kind of like a rap with like modern day sound. I would definitely check it out. Educate yourself, The third question from Tate is, are there parts of your heritage that you wish you were more connected to? Absolutely. I wish that I knew how to bead and sew regalia. I tried making some for my son, but it's not very good, but it's, it's a start. You have to start somewhere. I also wish I knew how to make ribbon skirts. My cousin Tiffany, she is like a pro at like beading and ribbon skirts and all this stuff. Oh, a good fry bread. There's actually a there's actually a video that I'm also going to link. I'm just going to link a bunch of stuff. But there's going to be a link down below to a fry bread tutorial it's from a college somewhere, and the woman that is doing the recipe, it's for a big recipe, okay? So if you want to make it, you're gonna have to, I would follow that one. There is another one, but for me it didn't come out as good. It just so you're gonna have to make sure that you're feeding your whole family. I don't mean like 3 or 4 people. I mean like you're gonna be feeding like 12 people. Okay, so save this one for like Thanksgiving or Christmas. But the woman that does it, everything is done with like natural animal product and stuff like that. So if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, I would not suggest following that tutorial. I'm sure there are other tutorials that you can find for fry bread, but this woman, the way she does it and the way that like the sound of her voice is so calming, and the sound of like her stirring, the like whisking and everything, like it makes me feel like family, it makes me think of like my aunties. Love you. Question number, I think it's 3. How has your experience been finding a community of Indigenous people within the bookish community, and has that differed between platforms? Absolutely. I have not found anybody on Booktube aside from Brody. If somebody has told you you have this in you, and you are like, you know what? That's awesome. I want to become more in touch with my roots, with my people, then do it. Go to powwows. Learn etiquette for powwows. I mean, not like in general, but like learn powwow etiquette. Go to a powwow. Learn how to make fry bread. Learn how to bead. Learn how to do all those things. Grow your hair out. I don't care. Learn different customs. Associate yourself with the community. Don't let somebody anybody, even if they are Native, don't let them be like, oh, well, you're just, you're just like white on the outside and white on the inside or whatever. Because I've been called red on the outside and white on the inside. And you know what? Fuck those people. I have tried for years to kind of stay in my lane and to not upset people. If I want to try to do something, just do it. Do it. So if you're Native and you want to talk to us, do it. We will accept you. We will talk to you. There's no like square bubble that you have to be in, but for God's sakes, don't tell me that your grandma was a Cherokee princess, because I'm a bitch slap you over this screen. There's no such thing as royalty. There's only chiefs, and that's it. I'm sorry. I just get really emotional about people telling me that, because it's freaking stupid. BB Tall asked, how can we show more support for Native Indigenous people? Boost us. Ask us to host stuff. Like, include us in things. Don't just be like, oh yeah, this is Michelle from Thor Wants Another Letter. Go follow her. No, like, be like, hey, Michelle, would you want to come on and talk about your experiences as a Native American? Yeah, sure. Why not? Hey, Michelle, do you want to be a part of this readathon where we read X book? I think you have it on your shelves from your photo or something. Yeah, awesome. That would be freaking amazing. That would be great. I've already been in some buddy reads. Why don't you invite me to be on a readathon? Diversify your panel. Diversify your life. Don't just stick with who you know, what you know. Like, yes, I know some of the big booktubers and small booktubers, media, whatever. The most popular people, yeah, you want them to do your thing, but at the same time, we need exposure too. And I know Brody has been on a couple things or invited to a couple things. I've not been invited to anything. I haven't been invited, okay? Invite me. I know I sound sassy right now, but you know what? I can be sassy. I can be really nice. I can be friendly. I can be compassionate. I can be kind. I am very, very patient, believe it or not. I am very patient. Patience is like one of my virtues, okay? Invite me to stuff. Boost me on things. Just like, be my friend, Help each other out. Alright, POC Bookish Content asks, when's the first time you felt represented in a book from an Indigenous perspective? And for this one, I've not really felt like I've been featured, my culture has been featured. However, I will go with Apple in the Middle by Dr. Don Quigley. And Apple is half white, half Native American. I am technically, according to the thingy, like half and half. But it doesn't feel like that because of the way I've been immersed in the culture. And I mean, I do feel that disconnect from the jumbledness of my life. But if I had to say I'm Native, I have other things. I mean, I'm like German, French, Irish. I was actually born with red hair, apparently. Any book recommendations of better representation for Indigenous people? Yes. Just search your local library. I know there's tons of stories. I just love I love my culture. Like, I'll have like a lot of links down there, and I really encourage you to check them out. This is going to be a very, very, very long video. A Pisces Dream asks, there are a few sub-communities on Booktube, Black Booktubers, Asian, LGBTQIA+, etc. What are your thoughts on those pertaining to your identities? Like, do you wish there was a greater sub-community of Native or Indigenous Booktubers? Absolutely. I 1000% wish that there were more Native Americans in our community. I wish that more people would come out and say, yes, I have... I am this, I am that, I am, instead of being like, oh, well, my grandma was blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, it's down to you, too. Like, that doesn't just end at your grandma. It's gonna sound very ranty, but actually I was really pissed because I noticed at BookCon, it's all gonna come back to BookCon, there was a lot of debates and arguments about certain races that were in photos, and that's all been covered. It was a big controversy. People were being mad about people, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, my point is, there were not a lot of people coming together to not only, like, take advantage of the wonderful opportunity that BookCon is. You know, we didn't have this 80 years ago. This was like a dream. You know, you had to get books sent to you in, like, the mail, and it took forever. But my point is, I wished that we would have seen more. I wish that I could see Native Americans, like, even just a group of, like, 6 people. I only know, this is really sad, I only know of me, Brody, and Wheezy. Wheezy is a blogger. I will link her channel down below. I did not see a lot of representation of Black, Asian, Latinx, Afro-Latinx people from BookCon photos. Like, just, I mean, imagine if it was just me and Brody in a picture, nobody else. Like, how sad is that? And, you know, I really wish that a lot more Native Americans read books. And that's the thing, I've tried suggesting things to some of my Native friends, and they're like, oh, I don't like reading. And I don't know if it's because they don't actually like reading, or if it's because they haven't gotten into a book. And that's the thing. I really wish that there was a bigger sub-community of Native Americans on Booktube. I am so lucky to have found Brody. I'm so lucky to have found Wheezy. I wish that there were more of us, you know. One day, I would think it would be so amazing if we were able to get, like, 6 booktubers together that were Native American, or, like, book bloggers, book people together in, like, ribbon skirts, and, like, to come together and you see all our faces and we're all happy and smiling and having a good time, and somebody brought the fry bread, you know, probably me. But anyway, my point is I just want to see a lot more diversity of Native people on Booktube. And I don't know, if you're Native and you're seeing this, reach out to us. Please, please, please reach out to us down below. Like, tell us, regale us with your, you know, just give it to us, you know. These are questions from Rachel Marie. How do you feel about people using the term spirit animal, and what do you like to know? Don't fucking use that word. Don't say, oh, that's totally my spirit animal. Like, don't. Just don't. Okay? Also, oh, is this a question too? Okay. This is also in my notes, because it's just... So, as Brody also said, we don't get free college. We have to pay. We don't all live in the reservation. Blood quantum is racist. Don't ask us what kind of blood we have. It's racist. It's bad. I'm not going to answer you. I'm just going to block you. We don't all get government money or assistance. I did one time get part of a settlement, and that was like, like, I almost didn't get it because I didn't check the website, and then I checked the website, and it was like, oh, blah, 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 Michelle, blah, 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 call us for your thingy. And I was like, what? I mean, I stood in line for, like, 34 hours, and I, like, bawled all the way home because I just wanted to go by that time. So I had to go through all the agony just to get... Don't wear headdresses. Don't wear things that you consider as, like, Native things. Don't wear headdresses. Just so you know, like, the headband thing with the feather, that was actually not a Native American thing. That's actually a hippie thing. It's just people think that it's a Native thing. It was covered in the 70s. There's a great documentary that I know about. I think we were still on Rachel Marie. Can you share some of your native customs that you practice for people, especially in Europe, that have never met an Indigenous person? For this one, there aren't any major customs that I would say that I follow. Like Brody said, most of them are private, and I guess I could tell you that I'm not really a religious person. I'm more of a person of faith, and I believe that the Creator is always with us, and that one thing that I try to do is every holiday I will take some of my leftovers and I'll put them on a plate and I will put them outside, and those are for the spirits, and that is kind of like our offering. So the next question is, what can people in the bookish community do to support you and make sure you are seen? Obviously boost us, invite us to stuff, you know, ask us what we think, ask us if we have any book recommendations for you, but like I said, don't treat us like we're your token brown friend, because we're not. How do your identity intersections inform your reading choices or tastes? I finally know what intersection is because Brody explained it to me. I don't know if you know, but I'm actually bisexual, and I've never had a experience reading a book about a bisexual Native American character. I just learned that there's a thing called two spirits, which is like different, it's more like a gender non-conforming thing, and I was looking through some of the photos and I saw like two men together, two women together, like Native men, Native women, and it was just like mind-boggling to me. So I read what I want to read, I guess. JL Todd asks, have you ever read a book with a Native character that was written well, or with a Native character at all? And of course I've read There There by Tommy Orange. I've read Apple in the Middle by Dr. John E. Quigley. I have read, I've read a few things with Native characters, but those are the two that like stick out to me the most. Off by Heart asks, what are some stories you'd like to see more representation of for Indigenous people, i.e. mysteries, romance, adventure, blah blah blah? And do you have a top 3 list of books featuring Native Indigenous people that everyone should read once in their life? For this, and this is the final question. So, I would love to see like contemporary romances, YA fantasy that's not structured around European standards. Definitely mysteries, thrillers. I don't even read mysteries or thrillers, but you know, I haven't read any paranormal by Patricia Briggs, I think that's her name. I haven't read any of those, but I'm thinking about checking into them just to see what it's all about. And also, I really want to see a contemporary romance with like bisexual characters and pansexual characters, just really characters, any characters in general. The top 3 that I would say that you definitely have to read is Apple in the Middle by Don E. Quigley, There There by Tommy Orange, and then Piper McLean's character in The Lost Hero. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and definitely ask more questions in the bottom if you want to know more about me. So thanks. Bye.